So I cheated. Pastel cheated in the East. I'm going to cheat in the West. I was looking at LA and like I have a guy that I want to talk about, but I feel like you can't talk about X-Factor and what I talked about before when we were doing the East X-Factor, like when we were going over what an X-Factor is. A guy that like if he reaches his potential can be like a game changer, change the outcome of games. And I feel like I can't go through this segment and not mention Shawn Oakman. I know that we've talked about him, plenty on this show, but I feel like in a segment like this, you have to mention him, because if he gets back to that 2014 Shawn Oakman where he had 20 tackles for loss, 11 sacks, third team All-American. I mean, the dude is a physical freak. If he can somehow get back to that, and you get him in the 5th phase, are you kidding me? I mean, I said Quentin Flowers is the steal of the draft, but this could be the steal of the draft if Shawn Oakman turns out to be what he can be and what he has shown. Now, it's been a few years since he's done it, but, I mean, the physical tools, I mean, you can see here, the man is just a freaking monster. So if he can get that back, we haven't seen it in a while. I mean, he's been in the spring league, as you see here. But if he can get that, that edge back, he's definitely an X-Factor. But the guy I want to talk about is Rashad Ross. This guy was an absolute stud in the AAF. He led the league in touchdowns with 7 touchdown receptions and was second in the league in reception yards with 583. I would say he was, debatably the best wide receiver in the league, him or Charles Johnson. But he's a speedster. He's a guy that can, break things open. Rashad Ross is going to be a dangerous freaking weapon for Luis Perez. And one thing that goes unsaid about Rashad Ross is, and I saw this when he played in the AAF, this SOB is tough as hell. Like, he takes shots. He's a smaller guy, but he is not afraid to go over the middle and take shots. And when you have a number 1 receiver that can break it open on the sidelines, but is also not afraid to take a hit over the middle, that's a pretty solid position to be in. And I think that in LA, he is going to be an absolute stud. So he's my X-Factor for the Wildcats.
I love the pick, Riley. Honestly, every time I watch highlights of this guy, I'm like, this guy just tracks the ball.
He jumps off the page or off the video, doesn't he?
Yep.
I mean, he's like a center fielder, man. He just doesn't break stride. He knows how to maneuver his head and his body to just catch everything in stride. And I just think guys like that, receivers that can just adjust to the ball and track the ball in the air, it's an asset that a lot of wide receivers can't do.
Well, and it makes sense that he looks kind of a little bit head and shoulders above some of the other receivers from the AAF, because look, as short as his tenures might have been, you don't get on 9 NFL rosters, whether it's in training camp, mini camp, whatever, if you don't have talent or if they don't see something in you. Yeah. So he might not have stuck around. I think his longest tenure was maybe like a year or so with the Redskins, but he's been with 9 different NFL teams throughout his career at some point or another. There's talent there for sure.
The Wildcats have a dangerous skill position in the wide receiver and running back room. And with him leading the wide receivers, it's Luis Perez is in a good situation to succeed. I'll say that. What's up, football fans? Visit XFLChalkTalk.com to get the latest analysis, discussions, interviews, and news from around the league. You can also sign up for our email list so you can receive notifications on when content is posted focused on your favorite XFL team.